Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale. Select from over 80 vehicles in stock, starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock, starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday. Under mostly cloudy skies with a few scattered showers and maybe a rumble of thunder through the day. High near 67. Overnight low of 33 degrees under mainly clear skies. Clouds and sunshine mixing for your Saturday with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
A fresh take on local, regional, and national news. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
50 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. It's cloudy. 50 degrees here at my home studios in Elm Grove, and 50 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Some scattered showers or maybe a patchy sprinkle or two during the morning this morning. Eventually sunshine will be back during the day today. Daytime high 58 maybe if we're really lucky. Going to be up much warmer over the weekend. A couple of beautiful days in store tomorrow and Sunday. Coming up today, after a traumatic year, the travel industry is beginning to come alive again. Bill Bryson from Uniglobe Travel is going to be with us in the next half hour to kind of pull some of the latest travel news together. A lot of stuff happened literally just in the last 24, 48 hours, making travel easier. Disney World is opening up. Cruise lines say they're getting ready to start up again. So we'll talk about the latest travel news and also give you some travel ideas from Uniglobe. I'm heading off for the first time, not to the fall. It'll be, I think it's September, October, but at least Nancy and I are going to get a chance to go traveling again, heading out west with the Uniglobe folks later this year. Coming up, also, newspaper editor John McCabe and I have the Friday Roundtable, looking at the local news of the week, from floating the Wellsburg Bridge into place to cutting the library funding in Ohio County to the rental inspection program in the city of Wheeling. All this and a good bit more with John. Is grandma an out-of-date term? We've been talking about that. You can invest in a share of the Declaration of Independence, and it's National Honesty Day. And 27% of the people surveyed said that they have never told a lie. And I will tell you right now, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm looking for any of you. So what do you call your grandma? Or do your kids call you if you are the grandma, granddad, what have you? Gail King from the CBS Morning News announced this week that she is going to become a grandma. And she very quickly said, I don't want to be called grandma. No, 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 no. So I've been asking y'all, what are you being called? Have some fun stuff that different people are suggesting that they're called. Everything from Yaya, and Gammy, and Grandma, Grandpa, Nana, all those kinds of things. Text me if you'd like to, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. Let me know if you are a grandparent, what are you called? Nancy and I are grandma and granddad to Teddy. I'm grandpa to a couple of the kids on the playground. They don't even know me. A couple of Teddy's kids he plays with in the playground, they just like to come over and go, hey, grandpa. Okay, that's me. I'm everybody's grandpa. Yes.
At least they didn't call you old man.
Yeah, well, I think that was kind of the implication there. But one little kid, bless his little heart, little 3-year-old kid the other day, he brought me up just an armful of sticks. He said, Grandpa, I brought these for you. Okay. Put them right here. I'll take the sticks. So, anyways, what do you call it if you are a grandparent, or what did you call your grandparents? 304-214-1600. Let's see what Bob has to say this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gramps. People have been calling you that for a while, even before Teddy came along. So.
Well, that's true. You're exactly right, yes.
Hey, I'm not the mutual friend who is a habitual liar, am I?
No.
You're not lying to me, are you?
Well, that's a good question. How do you know, of course?
You know, Howard, I was thinking.
Now, let me tell you something, pal. If anything, part of your problem is you're one of those ones that's just too honest.
And
you just tell people what you think.
Me, the more the honesty pours out, that's a big problem. Yes. I was thinking of a great segment for Friday for you. I think it'd be called something like, I don't have the title down yet, but I think I have the concept. Kind of like you think you had a bad week.
Okay.
You're a WVU fan. Bob Huggins has to be going out of his friggin' mind. Have you ever seen anything like this, Biff? You're a basketball guy. I mean, who's next?
And that's the problem and I know they call it the transfer portal, but I mean, let's really call it what it is. When you have free agency,
getting out of Dodge.
when you have free agency basically in college basketball and guys are leaving and doing this and everything, I've never seen anything like it.
It's crazy. You know, the one thing after the tournament, after they were eliminated, you thought they're going to have a pretty good team coming back next year. Hell, they don't have anybody coming back next year.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Yeah, they're all gone. And you know, I was thinking, Biff, and you hit it on the head, just how things have changed. You always knew who you had coming back. I mean, and you based yourself on that, and it was like a rotation kind of. It's not like that now. It's one and done. This guy, he's gone. It's craziness. It's absolutely crazy.
Why is that? Why? I mean, I know we call it the transfer portal, but it really isn't any different than what we've had in the past. Why is it more guys are taking advantage of getting out early? What do you think?
Well, I'm not the big basketball guy. It has to be some sort of opportunity, or I don't like this guy like I thought, or Morgantown's not the city for me. What do you think, Biff? I mean, most of it is opportunity. I think, how can I make money? How can I make this my career?
Right.
Do you agree with me, Biff?
That's what it is. I think the one and done rule has certainly changed college basketball and the way that head coaches recruit. And I think these guys here, that they can make millions by going to the NBA or going, even overseas. I mean, you put the word money in their mind, and they're going to think of ways to get out quickly. And,
right. I mean, there's professional basketball just about every country. Just because you don't make the NBA, you could still make a hell of a lot of money playing basketball.
Yeah, go overseas at some of those leagues, and you can make money. And I think part of another reason is maybe guys aren't getting playing time, or it's usually petty reasons. If it's not the money or wanting to play overseas, it's just the volume that we see them now leaving in.
It's amazing. And Howard, back in our day, it used to be great. The only thing that would maybe keep you from the team if you didn't do anything stupid was you had to keep your grades up. Man, it ain't like that today.
And sometimes, even if you didn't keep your grades up, they would find a way to get you to play anyways.
Sure. It all depends on how much talent you had. Wasn't how smart you was, how much talent you had. And I noticed this, too, last night. You talk about how times are changing. I love the NFL draft. I know it's not for everybody. But you talk about what has changed the most. Pete Rozelle has to be doing flip-flops in his grave. Roger Goodell, I mean, it's like a family emotion, every pick, hugging and picking them up. And I mean, Pete Rozelle used to stick his hand out, shake your hand, congratulate you, and move on. I mean, I just don't get that either.
Yeah, give you a hat, and that was it.
That was it. You take your picture, I'll see you later. Now, he wants to share a moment with you and cry with you a little bit. And this is the NFL, for God's sake.
Every hug is choreographed, or a handshake now. they have this plan beforehand going in, and you saw it last night.
Right, you got a choreographer going, no, don't do that. Everybody does that. Kiss him, give him a big kiss or something. It's nuts.
Bear hug him and pick him a couple feet off the ground and then put him back down gently, and they're smiling, and it's all a show now. That's all the NFL draft is now. It's a show.
But don't you think, both of those cases, why are more people transferring out? Why is the draft such a show? It all comes down to the business has become so important. It's become such a big business. It does become a show. It does become, it's all about the dollars and cents anymore.
And it's social media too, because those pictures are going, look at this moment. Look what he did. Look how touching that is. I don't care. I mean, seriously. It's just, Howard, it's amazing right now. You're not a big sports guy, but sports is really turning, on its head. And I think nothing is the same. Nothing is even close to being the same anymore, sports-wise. And I don't know if it's ever going to come back. I know there's a lot of money out there, but I just don't know if it's ever going to come back.
Let me tell you something, pal, though. I'm beginning to realize, and I think a lot about this, it isn't just sports. Nothing is the same anymore. I stop and I think
well, you're right, Graham.
I look back at all the things that I have done and how things used to be. I have become very much an old man. I talk about it all the time with my wife. I said, "Oh, do you remember when?" You always have been like this, pal, but only recently have I gotten to this.
Howard, I've been telling you for 30 years I hate change, because this is what happens when change takes over. You're talking about the old days and stuff. What's tomorrow going to bring? Nobody knows, and that's scary. We're living in a time now where you talk about you had a bad week. You don't know what's going to happen next week. Nobody does.
You're right. And it's not just sports. You think back on, I was driving through downtown Wheeling yesterday, remembering the days when you could roam through downtown all day long and, have a few drinks and meet people and have some fun. And what do you do now? Just hope that the car doesn't fall apart while you're bumping down the roads.
Yeah, be careful there. Biff and I shared a few memories from our childhood, and before I got on the air, Howard, and I'm afraid that's about what we have anymore is memories. You're right. I've always been nostalgic. I always want to go back, not forward. But it's like now I think that's all I have anymore, because I told you a week or so ago I just don't know what to believe anymore. And, man, I hate to be Debbie Downer, but as far as the future, what is the future? I don't know if I can say the future is going to be bleak, because I don't even know what the future is going to be.
Here's what I can tell you. It's shorter now than it used to be, pal. It's shorter now than it used to be.
And it's catching up on us quick, Howard. That's for sure. And I'm going to get off here, but I want to ask you real quick. Is the Greg Stewart thing, talk about a bad week, that would have been a real good segment for that week. It just got worse as the week went on. Is that a done deal? Are we ever going to talk about that again?
I think John and I can talk about it a bit next hour. I thought some interesting stuff was said this week at the Ohio County Development Authority meeting that gives us a little more insight into what may have gone on there. So I think McCabe and I will kick that around next hour a little bit in our Friday roundtable. I don't think the story is over and done with yet.
Well, you got a hook in me, because I do want to hear that, because I think it's very important. I think it's very, very important. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll listen and I'll do my homework. I'm going to come up with 5 candidates that I think are going to come out and either run against Randy, or if Randy somehow decides he doesn't want to run, they're going to jump in. I'm going to come up with some likely candidates going to fight for that county commission position, Howard.
Whoa, Bob is getting into politics now. All right, I'm looking forward to hearing your list.
All right, you have a great weekend.
All right, you too, pal. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
8:22 in the morning on the Watchdog Morning Show. Yeah, the bottom line, Biff, whether it's the transfer portal, whether it's the way the draft is held, whether there aren't as many bars in downtown Wheeling, nothing's the way it used to be. That's just the nature of things, right? Nothing's the way it used to be.
And it's sometimes it's for the good, and sometimes it's for the bad. And all you need to do is, we talk about 10 town and sports and everything, but look at our neighborhood communities. I mean, look at Wheeling Island. You drive around Wheeling Island, and there are literally streets where you take another house or two down, and there's nothing but a block of empty lots. You know, I mean, it's sad to see what Wheeling Island's become.
Absolutely. And that's true of all the neighborhoods in the area. I mean, every neighborhood in Wheeling is, and I'm picking on Wheeling, it's true of any of our cities. But we've talked about how Bel Air has gone dramatically downhill. Martins Ferry, St. Clair, everything is different now than it used to be. But again, you're listening to an old man talk. I stop and I look back and I see 60 years worth of change, and boy, things have really changed. Things have really changed. I'll tell you one thing that doesn't change. That's Fridays at noon, Biffy.
Oh, Donnie G.
It's Dancing with Dr. G, the Donnie Gilbert radio show. The only thing is, this week, Donnie is at the beach.
The beach?
He's away.
Ah.
So Jeremy Harrison and Adam Truax will be hosting the show today. A lot of emphasis on veterans. They'll be talking the Helping Heroes 9th Annual Night to Remember event, which is Friday, May 21st. That's their signature event. We'll talk a lot about that. Senator and veteran Ryan Weld and the executive director of CASA, Susan Harrison and Vern Anderson, state commander of the VFW, will all be on the Donnie Gilbert radio show today. So it's Dance with Dr. G without Dr. G today from noon until 2 on WVLY AM 1370 and FM 97.7. And coming up today at 10:06, statewide talk line, my good friend Mr. Kirchhoff is in, and Hoppy will talk to Senator Joe Manchin. Also coming up today, Gary Abernathy, who used to be the Republican Party director in West Virginia, and he worked aggressively in Republican politics. And he was a guy that I actually got along with very well when he was here in the state. We had a pretty good working relationship, even though he was a Republican. So now he writes occasionally for the Washington Post and other places. So he will be on with Hoppy today to talk about Biden and all that kind of stuff. Steam release, of course, and I'm going to join Hoppy for a little segment. I don't think he quite knows what to do. So we're going to talk about a couple of different things. Hoppy and I will get together on Statewide Talk Line. All coming up this morning on the Watchdog Morning Show. It is 8:25, 50 degrees right now.
Let your voice be heard.
I'm going to try and squeeze these COVID stories in real quick, Biffy.
locations are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. To find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Smithfield, the watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Smithfield trusts the watchdog.
If you miss a part of the show or want to listen again, you can find conversations, interviews, and rants on our podcasts at Apple Podcasts or on watchdognetwork.com. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
We're going to go traveling with Bill Bryson from Uniglobe coming up in just a bit. Lots of travel news. The travel industry finally coming out of its slump, and a lot of people are beginning to schedule travel vacations, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. What people are not scheduling these days are their vaccinations. The CDC says across the country, border to border, coast to coast, 82% of the people over the age of 65 and more than half of all adults have received at least one dose of their vaccine. And in mid-April, vaccines hit their peak. 3.2 million shots a day were being given a couple of weeks ago. But the number has dropped now, as of last week, 2.5 million shots per week. And both in West Virginia, we noted, and of course across the country, the vaccination rate is slowing down. In fact, a lot of the sites aren't even ordering as much vaccine now from the federal government because people aren't showing up to get it. Pfizer is going to start shipping its vaccines in smaller packages because people don't need the huge amount anymore. This is kind of frightening because we're not yet there at herd immunity. We're not yet there at enough people vaccinated to make it all work well, although I said yesterday, I'm reaching the point before too much longer where I'm going to say, you know what, I'm fine, I've been vaccinated. If people just want to be stubborn and not to get the shot, to hell with them. But people are trying to do a lot of things. Governor Justice offering savings bonds, a $100 savings bond for people between the age of 16 and 35 who get their vaccine. Honest to God, I don't think people at the age of 18 even know what a savings bond is. And the reality is, what a savings bond today, you get $20 basically in a savings bond today, which in, 10 years matures to 100? What kind of an incentive is that? But I give him credit for trying. Other places are doing some more creative things. Free beer, free pot. I hope those are in places where it's legal. Free donuts, all being given to those folks who get a vaccine. One place is giving away, making it a raffle. When you get your vaccine, you get an entry into a raffle to win an all-terrain vehicle. So that's an option. I love this story. In Baton Rouge, here's a man who says he got his shot in a bar.
23-year-old Brandon Bro went to a bar with friends and ended up vaccinated.
Where did you get your first shot?
I got it at a local bar. It was a shot for shot nights.
I love that. Shot for shot. Get a shot, get a get a free shot. Uber is trying to help Americans get to their vaccinations. They're working with Walgreens. And if you schedule an Uber, you'll see a new option on your scheduling app for Uber that says vaccine. And when you click that, you can schedule an appointment through Uber with your Walgreens pharmacy. And then an Uber will come pick you up and take you to your appointment. So Uber's trying to get into the act there as well. So I think it's kind of interesting. I mentioned that I'm kind of reaching that point, though, where I'm just ready to get back to normal. And if people don't have a vaccine because they choose not to, that's your problem. I know that's a terrible, horrible way to think of it, Biffy, but I tend to think so. I also wonder, and I've talked about this before, when we all have the ability to, so quote, get back to normal, what will normal be for us? One of the ladies who co-hosts the CBS show The Talk this week said that when things get back to normal, she's going to miss keeping her distance.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually like the distance. I don't know if just being in New York all my life, growing up in crowded subways, trains, and stations, and everybody just growing up in a household with 3 older brothers as well, and 2 parents, like just always feeling crowded. Yeah. I'm all for the vaccination, of course. I'm all for you wearing your mask if you feel safer that way. But I really like the level of distance. I have grown to really appreciate, we don't need to be that close to each other.
I feel you.
You know, and I've heard a lot of people, a lot of my personal real friends in real life say the same thing. You know what? I'm probably not going to get back into the big crowds that I used to get into again. I think we've begun to recognize that it's okay to have our space. I think that's how things will be different. And I suspect that the types of vacations we go on may change a little bit as a result of having gone through the pandemic. I would suspect that people will be looking for more vacations that take you to wide open spaces where you're not crowded into groups and so on. We're going to check into that and more on travel with Bill Bryson. He's coming up next here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Still 50 degrees and overcast at 8:35 in the morning.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's time for your local news headlines from 7 News at WTRF, My Ohio Valley, and ABC Ohio Valley. Only on AM 1600 WKKX. The Watchdog.
And I'll be back in a minute, Biffy. Okay, good. All right, I'm back.
I want to win that game. I want to show better than he did. And I feel it's a very similar feeling this weekend with the guy that they have going, and to add a little bit of another element to it. I think if us as a whole squad want to play in the postseason, I think at least winning the series, if not sweeping TCU, is needed for that. So I think this will be the last chance that we have to show that we can be a force to be reckoned with in the Big 12.
Indeed, much is at stake. MSN Radio pregame coverage, 6 o'clock. First pitch from the Mon is at 6:30. That's today's Mountaineer Report from Kroger. I'm Dan Zangrilli. This is MSN, the Mountaineer Sports Network.
This is Bill DeFabio, your host of The Variety Show with Bill DeFabio. Heard on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Join me from noon till 2 to talk sports, nostalgia, and hear from some of the legends of the game. You won't believe who I have on next. The Bill DeFabio Variety Show, heard on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tune in and get with the program. I'm Bill DeFabio. Join me for The Variety Show on the Watchdog.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
U.S. taxpayer expense.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I love living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
The Watchdog prides itself in being involved in our community, and we want to hear from you. Does your organization have an event that you would like promoted on the radio? Please send us the details via our website, watchdognetwork.com. Just click on our contact page and fill the information. Live, local, and here for our community. Share your events with the Watchdog.
You can watch a video cast of our show every morning on Facebook Live or on our website. Plus, check archives of all of our videos on the Watchdog YouTube channel. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
It's been no secret that the two big things that I have missed during the pandemic, I'm happy to stay at home with my wife. I don't need to go out into crowds. I don't need to go to big parties. I don't need to go to, I'm perfectly content to be an at-home person. But the two things I have missed the most, number one, going to lunch. I just miss going to lunch with my friends. And I'm about ready to break that trend. I think probably next week I'm ready to go out and grab lunch. And the other thing that I missed dramatically this past year was traveling. I just gotten so used to, and my wife and I have been enjoying so many of our trips recently, and then it all got cut off. But I think things are beginning to open up at last. A lot of travel news, in fact, just yesterday. So I thought I'd ask Bill Bryson to come in here and join us from Uniglobe High Valley Travel and kind of give us an update on where the travel industry is. Things are beginning to pick up, aren't they, Bill?
Yes, good morning, Howard. And we've had a pretty good week this week in terms of news. And several things that we have been waiting for a long, long time have finally, looks like we see the end. First of all, cruising has been in the news forever. Shuttered basically for 15 months. The cruise lines took some of their ships and said we'll sail out of other countries. But the CDC released yesterday or the day before that they follow the protocols and you can start sailing in July. So
and you can do that from U.S. ports now, right?
From U.S. ports, you don't have to fly. And to be honest, we've done that with a lot of cruises. You fly out of San Juan or whatever, but if you choose to fly out of a U.S. port, then you can do that starting in July. And my guess is these cruise lines, they know what was coming, and they would have probably gone beyond that to make sure that they were ready. But you think, well, what can they do? Well, it's the arrangements they have in the ports. What if somebody contacts the COVID? What do we do? Do they have provisions there? It's all that kind of stuff. And Royal Caribbean, I know for one, has really practiced and they're ready. They're ready now. So we'll see. Starting July, the cruising business is hopefully back. And we don't have a lot of cruises for groups in the fall, but we've got a ton of them starting in January. Our typical no-fly cruise in January. We've got a 14-day cruise. We're going to sail out of Barbados in the Southern Caribbean for 2 weeks in February, which is a great time to be doing that. Our Alaska cruise will be back next June, cruise and tour. We've got a great offer for the next fall, the New England cruise. Hopefully Canada will open their borders. That's been part of the problem with Alaska and with New England. Again, you've got to go to a foreign port. If you sail out of the U.S., you have to go to at least one foreign port. And it's Canada, and you can't sail into Canada. So that's been a real hamper for Alaska, and they've tried to do things in Congress and all that, but to no avail. So, but cruising looks good. Cruising looks like it's coming, and I think everybody's happy about that.
A couple of things about cruising I'm curious about. In the very, very beginning of this, before things even shut down, you and I talked about how the cruise lines might be impacted, particularly with their buffets, because that's a big deal on a cruise ship. I have to assume they've figured out a way to handle them now.
I think from everything that I've heard from cruising and from other hospitality spots that offer buffets, that there will be an attendant. So you don't pick up the spoon and then somebody else picks it up after you. An attendant will be handling all that. So they're going to try to keep all the buffets, but do it in such a way that it's going to be safe for everybody.
And if I'm correct, I read somewhere that the cruise lines may insist on a proof of vaccination before you can get on board, right?
We're seeing that everywhere. I just I was checking the wire this morning, and the Bahamas have said now, starting May 1st, if you've been vaccinated, you can skip the entry test coming into the Bahamas. So we're starting to see a lot of that open up. So now there's still some other things you got to do to get back and all that, but you don't need to be, if you're vaccinated, you can skip the entry test. I think that's step one, because I think step two is if you're vaccinated, you don't need it to go to the Bahamas. Why do I need it to come back? I mean, that doesn't make any difference. I think that's the next thing that's going to go. And as we get closer and closer to this number, whatever that number is, 70% or whatever, my fear is that the decision makers don't look at the numbers and say we're not far enough along. I think you let everybody that wants to get vaccinated, and when that line stops and there's nobody else, whatever that number is, then you assume it's 100%. And then we go from there. I respect the idea that somebody, hey, I choose not to get it. Okay, that's fine. But we can't, for instance, keep the cruise industry closed because certain percentages have decided not to get vaccinated. Don't get vaccinated, that's fine. But I also respect their rights to say, hey, we got to keep our industry going, and we are going to require the vaccine in order to sail on our cruise ships. That will be for a little while, and eventually that'll go away too, I'm sure. But for to get it open again, people are using the vaccine as your passport. Like, if you've been vaccinated, get on the ship. If you've been vaccinated, get into you can come down to the Bahamas. And then here, another one was the European Union will let vaccinated Americans visit this summer. So all of a sudden that opens up again. But again, it's kind of hinging on this vaccine, and I think that's probably going to be the way it will be for a little while. I don't know what little while is, but I think we're going to see that quite a bit here for the next few months.
I know, I've told the audience, I'm reaching the point now, and I'm a real big believer in all of the proper protocols, and I really am I've been very COVID concerned this past year, maybe more so than I even should have been. But I'm reaching the point now where there is a vaccine available, so much so that they're literally begging people to come take it. A month ago, it was hard to get appointments scheduled. The vaccines are available. They don't cost anything for anybody. If you have made a decision for whatever reason, whether you see it as an intrusion on your freedom or whether you're worried about it long-term, whatever, if you've decided not to get vaccinated, I'm reaching the point where I'm saying, look, I'm vaccinated, I'm safe. I don't say to hell with you, but you go about your daily life. Just I'm going to go about mine as well.
I respect that. It's your choice not to get vaccinated, but it can't be to the point where you're now impacting decisions that others make. So we're going. The cruise lines are open. European Union open. Bahamas open with vaccinations. So here we go.
And I think at some point, Bill, don't you? I know there's been talk about this. Again, it gets to be political, and I hate that. Some people say, well, it's government interference. At some point, there's going to be something that is akin to a vaccine passport, don't you think?
They've been talking about that in the industry. Nobody has come up with that yet, but right now, just a copy of your vaccination record is I think it's going to work. It looks like we're going to be able to go to the Grand Tetons this year, and they're telling me, hey, you got to show. I have to convince them that all the people on our bus are vaccinated. So there's another one, and that's that trip. We actually have a couple of seats left on that one. We changed it after they 9 people on a bus at Yellowstone, which was goofy. But we are going to the Tetons. We're going to Cody, Wyoming. We're going to fly into Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then we're going to end up at Mount Rushmore. And I do have a couple of seats left, 2 seats actually left on that trip if somebody's like to do the Tetons and Mount Rushmore, Cody, and Jackson Hole in one fell swoop. July 15th is the date on that one, and I think it's $25.99, and that's everything from air to bus to the Pittsburgh airport. There's about a dozen meals included, I think. So
my wife and I have done we have not been to Mount Rushmore, but all the others, and I got to tell you, I love Cody, I love Jackson, Wyoming. And the Grand Tetons are just absolutely spectacular. Yeah. Just spectacular.
I haven't escorted a trip in a year and a half, and I cannot wait to get out. We've got a couple of things coming in June. We got our baseball trip. We didn't do Texas, but we did do Cincinnati, Detroit, Cleveland on June 11, 12, 13. Again, I could take 2 on that one, 2 more on that one, and that's only $6.99, I think. Looking forward to that one, and then we've got Niagara Falls. I got 2 on everything. I got a couple of people canceled yesterday on Niagara, but we're going to stay on the U.S. side. And at first I'm thinking, I don't know. And then I started talking to our receptive up there, and she was telling me all the things you can do on the U.S. side. I'm thinking, well, we have got one day. We're not going to miss a beat, and we're going to stop at Duff's for lunch. And Duff's is the place to go in Buffalo for wings. Of course, Buffalo's Anchor Bar was the place in Buffalo while Buffalo wings were originated, and they had the reputation of being the home of buffalo wings. And now they say, well, Anchor Bar might have been first, but now Duff's is better. So I've already made arrangements, and you don't have, if you go with it, you don't have to eat the wings. I'm not a big wing fan myself, but we'll have a bowl of wings on each table along with your lunch if you would like to try the Duff's. It's supposed to be the best in the world. Who knows? Everybody's got their own opinion on that. But on the way back, we're stopping at the Comedy Museum in Jamestown, New York, and also right next to it is the Lucy and Desi. I think it's the 70th anniversary for the Lucille Ball television program, but Lucy Desi Museum, and we will have lunch in the museum, and I guess they play one of the Lucy shows that would be appropriate for the day or your meal or something. It's 32 nights. That's only a $4.99 trip. That's going to be a 2-nighter. So I'm looking forward to doing all that in June. We're going out west in July, and then in September, late September, they cut us off with on the train, the Rocky Mountaineer, and they said, well, pick another day, we can do it again. I'm thinking, oh, crap. I don't know whether we can do that. Well, we did. We've got, I think, 24 people or so on that trip, and if you'd like to join us on that one, give us a call. Today actually is the last day to get free air on that trip. So even if you knew about it and were thinking about it, yeah, let's do that. Give us a call today. End of April, they extended it once for us already. But that is 2 days on the Rocky Mountaineer. Now, that is not an overnight train. And then there's 4 national parks with that. There's actually, you go to C5, but Canyonlands is visible from the state park. So but I think it's Bryce, Zion, Arches, and another one. There's 4 of them all. It's the Rocky Mountain National Park in north of Denver. So that's going to be a really, really neat trip, and that's going to be September 27th. I'm taking that one. Jennifer's got the other one. So
I'm really glad you got to the second trip there. You know, I think 3 times in the past, my wife and I decided we wanted to do one of your train trips, and every time we decided it was too late. It's nope, sorry, we're all booked. Well, and that actually happened with this. I said, yeah, all right, we want to do this Rocky Mountain thing, and you said, sorry, it's full.
They push us a lot. They back in this is a Mayflower one, and we are also doing the Mississippi River cruise next spring. And they said, well, you don't have any people on it yet. Well, no, we haven't pushed that yet. We haven't. No. And we won't go too far out, figuring, no, nobody's going to care. We got a lot of time to decide on that. And the next thing you know, a deadline, a check comes up and says, well, you don't have anybody on it. We're taking seats back, which is what happened to us on the train. We said, we told you we would have 40 people on the train. When it came to 24, they said, well, I can't go any further. 24 is all you get. You have to pick another date. And I said, well, okay, but that's what's happened is, especially now, you got to feel for how your market. Most people aren't willing to commit a year and a half to 2 years out. If you know you want to do that, great. We'd love to help you on that, but times have changed, and it's been a little bit more difficult to get people to commit that far out. But that's what happened on the train, and we put another one on, and sure enough, we got the more than 40 people that we told them about.
I'm looking forward to that. I have missed traveling so badly. You know, I just.
Oh yeah, that one will be again. You got the 4 national parks and the train. That's going to be a really nice one.
We've only got a minute or 2 left, and I know you want to probably get to some of the specific trips, but I want to ask you in general: are people looking at traveling differently now after the pandemic? Are they looking at more open space trips? Has the pandemic changed at all the kinds of requests you're getting?
That's probably an entire show, Howard. The answer is yes, and I think they are more cautious. They have more questions, and they want to know, well, what if I have to cancel? We've been, the one thing that Ed has shown, folks have learned the hard way in the last year with all these cancellations. If you didn't have a travel agent working on your behalf, you had a heck of a time. We've had some people that have booked as many as 4 cruises, cancel, rebook, and you're fighting with them to get, it's not that easy getting the money back. Well, you said this, now it's this, and the girls, I think, are just fed up working with the vendors trying to make sure we hold them accountable to what the rules were at the time, and same way with the people. So they are more cautious about booking too early. They want to see what's going to happen. They want to know what about spacing? Am I going to be in a whole, real small space with 100 people? Yeah, cautious is probably the key word in all aspects of travel.
Well, there's a lot more we could talk about, but I'm out of time. You do have your flyers going out again, so people who want to get a look at some of what you're doing can call and have a copy of the flyer mailed to them.
Right.
And travel is coming back, thank heavens.
Right. And one last thing, just yesterday, we're going to do two big trips at Christmas time. Nashville will be one, Texas is the other, and we made arrangements with South Fork, Dallas, Larry Hagman and all that. We're going to tour South Fork and then end up eating dinner there in what they call Bobby's Boardroom. So that's going to be really cool. That'll be December 4th. We go out December the 4th.
That is really cool. I love that idea. So you can visit Dallas. I mean, Dallas, like in the TV show. That's really cool.
And it ends up in San Antonio. So we got a lot of things coming. We're just excited. This has been a good week for travel, and hopefully it'll keep it up.
All right, we'll touch base with you again sometime in the near future, Bill. Keep people informed of what's happening. I appreciate you
it won't be long, Howard. I think maybe we can get back on a regular basis.
All right, we'll talk to you again soon, Bill.
Thanks, Howard.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
It's 9 o'clock, so check in with Uniglobe Ohio Valley Travel. They've got a lot of things scheduled. I'm looking forward to the Rocky Mountaineer trip out west in September, October, and it's going to be a lot of fun. McCabe and I kicking around the Ohio Valley news. That's next on the Watchdog Morning Show.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Americans are likely to be fully vaccinated.
Okay.